Bitcoin has been seeing a massive pump so far this week. I'm actually still bullish on both Bitcoin but also on Solana. In today's video, I'll share my brand new trading ideas on both Bitcoin and Solana with you guys. Bitcoin is looking extremely bullish, guys, because it's currently not only reclaiming the range low of this massive high time frame range, but at the exact same time, Bitcoin has now also shifted structure right over here back towards the upside. And while shifting that structure back towards the upside, Bitcoin has also been putting in several bullish displacements right over here, indicating a lot of strength from the bulls. Now, what is extremely bullish in my opinion is that after such a reclaim of that range low, after confirming the deviation over here, Bitcoin has not offered any pullback. Instead, what it started doing is on a lower time frame, on the 15-minute, this is very clearly visible, it simply started slow grinding towards the upside right over here. Now, why is this so bullish? Because all the people that are sidelined during this push towards the upside are waiting for Bitcoin to give some kind of a pullback like this to then position themselves long towards the upside again. Now, by not offering this pullback, all the sideliners remain sidelined. So what do those people start doing? Instead of waiting for longs, they start to short every single time Bitcoin swing fills a previous high like we see over here, followed by a bit of a break to the downside over here. Every single time those people try to time the top of Bitcoin with their stop loss above that high, targeting lower levels instead, because people are impatient. If they miss out on a move towards the upside, or even worse, they were, for example, positioned short on that move towards the upside. And a little disclaimer, guys, I was actually positioned short myself as well, but I was already swing long on ETH and INJ and already long on my spot positions as well. So this was more of a hedge to me. I simply got stopped out, which is part of the game. But if I get stopped out, I'm not going to continue to short every single time price sweeps a previous high and then gets a bit of a break to the downside. Whoops! You don't want your portfolio to drop like that, so make sure to like and subscribe, and let's keep things steady. Now, these slow grinds towards the upside, guys, they are max pain scenarios for inexperienced traders. In my opinion, this is extremely bullish. Now, what we can also see, when we look at the weekly statistics for Bitcoin, we can see that they are extremely bullish and actually looking bullish for more upside as well. What we can see when we look at the weekly timing statistics over here, and I've selected the last 4 years of data on Bitcoin, we can see that based off previous data, only 8.2% of weeks will take out the weekly low from here before the weekly candle closes. So there's a 92% probability to hold the weekly low right now for Bitcoin. Also, we can see that based off distance, only 17.6% of weeks took out the weekly low from here as well. AKA, there's like an 83% probability to hold the weekly low for the current weekly candle on Bitcoin. And at the exact same time, there's a respective 75.5% and 71.4% probability to form new second pivots for the current weekly candle on Bitcoin. Now, new second pivot means either a new weekly low or a new weekly high. But considering the fact that the weekly low has such a high probability to hold based off statistics, but also based off the chart, we can assume that there's an approximate 75.5% and 71.4% probability that that new second pivot for the weekly candle is not going to be a new weekly low. No, it's likely going to be new weekly highs for Bitcoin. So a high probability for Bitcoin to form new weekly highs either today, tomorrow, on Saturday, or on Sunday instead. So what that means, in my opinion, is that if you see a bit of a local flush over here on Bitcoin today, you want to use that flush to potentially wait for bullish confirmations to then long the price of Bitcoin back towards the upside, back towards that range high around $110,000. You guys can now get 14 days of access to the best trading community in the space, Tribe Capital, for just $1. All that you guys have to do is click the link in the description down below, fill out your credit card information, no strings attached. You guys can cancel anytime you guys want, and I'll catch you guys in the tribe. Now, the most interesting chart to me right now is the Solana chart, and as you guys can see, I am already positioned long. And as always, guys, as you guys can see, I shared the signal before the entry even got hit over here yesterday in the Tribe Capital community. Now, why am I so bullish on Solana? Why am I expecting more upside as well for the remainder of the week? What we can see is that Solana put in an extremely strong sweep of the low over here, meaning that this low over here became a significant low because it swept into this very important liquidity pool right there. After forming that low, Solana formed a lower high over here, and then it formed a lower low over here. Now we can see that after forming that lower low over here, the price of Solana saw a strong push towards the upside over here. That strong push towards the upside gave us a break of structure back towards the upside right over here. Now this is a high probability break of structure. Why is this such a high probability break of structure? Because not only are we breaking through a significant high, because it brought us to a lower low, but also this low that then brought us to that lower high carried a lot of significance as well. Why? Because this low over here swept into this important liquidity pool, creating a significant low. Now, if this low would have front-run that liquidity pool over here, and then we would have formed a reversal structure like this, then this would not be a high probability break of structure, but it would be a significant break of structure instead, meaning that the probability is lower for a high and strong reversal. Now, what we can see, reversal has been confirmed, and afterwards Solana has started consolidating. Now, what we can also see while it is consolidating and while it is putting in this reversal structure is that the data on Solana, if I select the last 4 years of data, is showing extremely bullish statistics. Only 3.6% of weeks took out a weekly low, based off timing from here. And based off distance, only 9.8% of weeks took out a weekly low from here, based off distance. That means a respective 94 and 90% probability to hold the weekly low based off timing of price and also based off distance of price. Now at the exact same time, we can see that there's still an approximate 82% and 86% probability to form new weekly P2s for the current weekly candle on Solana. Now, since there's a high probability to form new second pivots, but at the exact same time an extremely high probability as well to hold the weekly low, we can assume that if we form new second pivots on this weekly candle for Solana, those new second pivots are likely going to be towards the upside and likely going to be new weekly highs, which is why I'm still so bullish on Solana. Now that means that I'm assuming that we are looking at a reaccumulation range on Solana over here. We can once again still see one more sweep of the low, followed by a bullish reversal structure. I am also looking to add some more margin to the current position on Solana if I get bullish confirmations in between my favorite timing period, which is in between our 12 UTC time, UTC plus 0, and in between our 14. Now what do I mean by that? I mean that if we get a push into this timing period and Solana on the 5-minute time frame gives me some bullish reversal confirmations within this timing period like this, and then it forms a new session high once our 15 starts. So after our 15 starts over here, I want that session high, that new session high to be formed. If that happens, in that case, the session low based off timing and structure will have an extremely high probability to hold throughout the rest of the New York session. And then I will add another long position on Solana with my invalidation beneath that session low, targeting much higher levels instead. If you guys like these kind of updates, make sure to smash up the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Ciao, ciao!